Imagine walking into court thinking you're getting another free pass, but instead the judge starts laughing at your lawyer's request. Why? Because you've skipped every court date before this. What happens when the judge finally loses trust in you? Will you get another chance, or is this the end of the line? Watch how this intense courtroom moment unfolds and why it could change someone's life forever.
Hello, sir. How are you?
So, Ms. McCoy, let's talk about something funny.
Okay.
Actually, it's not very funny, but it's actually quite sad. Your lawyer came to me, was it yesterday or was it the day before, asking for a PR bond?
Monday.
Asking me to give you a PR bond. Do you think that was a good idea? To give you a PR bond?
Are we looking at the history? Okay.
You've never, ever once appeared on your own here when we give you a PR bond. Every case that we have with you sits at around 10,004, 10,005, because you never appear. When you come to court, good things happen. Do you understand? If you ever need help, if you need a place to sleep, if you need food.
This case appears to be a courtroom interaction between a judge and a defendant, Miss McCoy, who is facing a charge of criminal trespass. Below is a detailed breakdown of what happened, the issue at hand, and the judge's reasoning and solution. 1. Context and background. Miss McCoy has a history of repeatedly failing to appear in court after being given a PR bond, personal recognizance bond. PR. Bond means that the person is allowed to leave custody without paying bail, based on their promise to appear at future court dates. However, Miss McCoy has a pattern of not attending her scheduled court appearances. Every time she fails to appear, her case gets delayed, and new legal issues arise, which further worsens her situation. Judge's reaction and advice. The judge openly expresses his frustration and disappointment. He highlights that Miss McCoy has been given several chances, but she repeatedly breaks the trust by failing to appear in court. The judge mentions that Miss McCoy's lawyer recently asked for another PR bond, but the judge laughed it off because of her history of flying away like a bird and not showing up. Flight risk. Since she doesn't appear in court, she is now considered a flight risk, someone likely to run away and avoid the legal process. The Bay. Judge explains that when Miss McCoy does attend court, good things can happen, as the court is willing to provide her with support, like food, shelter, or rehabilitation services, if she sincerely asks for it. But avoiding
Eat. If you need a cell phone or tablet, anything you need, all you have to do is come and ask, and we will bend over backwards to help you in any way that we can. But when you continually fail to appear, you become a flight risk, and we just can't trust you. So he came to me asking for this PR bond. I laughed, because I know if I give you one, like little wings on a bird, bye, you just don't come. Next time, if you pick up a case, come, and we'll help you with whatever you need. I don't care what it is, anything you want. I'll give you. You want treatment, you want help, anything. You now stand charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You've worked out an agreement where they're offering you 30 days in jail with credit for the 12 days that you've done. You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement, Ms. McCoy. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. You know, you've spent the better part of the last 4 years in and out of custody for one thing or the other. Before you know it, 20 years will have passed, and you will end up in such a bad place. You're going to look like the things on the street that you'd never think that you would be. If you continue at the rate that you are, you need a change. before you really do some damage that you can't crawl out of. How do you plead to the criminal trespass? Guilty or not guilty? It's all right. You know what we're doing, right?
Do you want me to talk to her for a moment? I don't.
No, I
Okay.
mean, your plea, do you know what we're doing? We're doing a plea for guilty, right?
Mm.
Is this what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, ma'am, I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to follow the agreement. Come back next time. All right, good luck. Thanks.
Court damages her credibility. Current charge and plea agreement. In this case, Ms. McCoy is charged with criminal trespass, which is a misdemeanor offense that could result in punishment, up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine. However, instead of giving her the maximum punishment, the judge offers her a plea deal. Plea agreement. She will serve 30 days in jail but will receive credit for the 12 days she has already served, meaning she will only have 18 more days to serve. This is a more lenient outcome compared to the harsher potential punishment. Waiving rights. By accepting the plea deal and pleading guilty, Ms. McCoy gives up certain legal rights, including the right to a trial, the right to call witnesses, or cross-examine accusers, the right to appeal the case. The judge also warns her about immigration consequences if she is not a U.S. citizen, as a criminal conviction could impact her immigration status. Judge's warning and advice for the future. The judge advises Ms. McCoy.
Was it 13 days credit?
12. I didn't know. Mr. Proctor,
Okay,
he's not here.
okay.
He's a bond. He has a surety bond. I called his bond company. I called his dad. I called him. Can we roll it till tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay.
It's FBF tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
No show tomorrow.
I got you.
McCoy to change her behavior and stop committing petty crimes or failing to appear in court. He warns that if she continues down this path, it could have serious long-term consequences. He paints a grim picture of how her life might deteriorate if she doesn't turn things around. Final outcome. After discussing everything with Ms. McCoy, the judge asks her if she understands and is willing to proceed with the guilty plea. Ms. McCoy confirms that she wants to plead guilty. The judge accepts her guilty plea and finalizes the 30-day jail sentence as per the agreement. Summary and key lessons. Why Ms. McCoy was in trouble. She was charged with criminal trespass and had a bad history of skipping court dates, making her a flight risk. Judge's solution. The judge offered her a plea deal, 30 days in jail with credit for 12 days served, to resolve the case quickly. Lesson. The judge emphasized the importance of attending court and seeking help if needed, instead of running away or avoiding legal responsibilities. He encouraged Ms. McCoy to make positive changes to avoid ruining her future. This case highlights how courts can be lenient when defendants cooperate, but may lose trust if the defendant repeatedly fails to follow the legal process.